So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to a brand new episode of Is It That Bad? Where we take a look at an album and we see like, is it that bad or was it just misjudged? And for this episode, a few weeks ago, I saw a news that perplexed me. When I saw that Marilyn Manson was going to be opening for Five Finger Death Punch, and my first thought is like, wow, that's a new low for him.
Or Five Finger Death
No.
Punch.
Yeah, like opening for Five Finger Fruity Death Punch, and I thought this, obviously, let me get this out of the way. Marilyn Manson's last year, there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of allegations and shit, but we're not here to analyze him as a human being. Is he a piece of shit? It doesn't matter. We are just sticking to the music. This is not like is he that bad? I don't care. Like like we're focusing on the music. So for this episode, I'm joined by have again JC Rock and Metal Reviews. He's almost being he's being a lot of these episodes. JC, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I have Shili returning from his it seemed like I was following him on Instagram and I felt like the dude's been on a vacation for a month. I was kind of jealous. I'm like, dude, don't you have to go back to work? So Chili's back from vacation.
I am.
So this is why this episode was pushed back because we had to do this combination for this one. And joining us, I think for the fourth time, we got Matthew from Diceable Reviews. Matthew, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I love doing these. They're just so much fun.
Yes, they are. And for this one, since we picked Marilyn Manson, I thought like, let's do a poll. So this is the poll, people, that I'm showing. You had the Pale Emperor, Eat Me, Drink Me, the High End of Low, Born Villain, and Heaven Upside Down. And I was surprised a little bit that the High End of Low won. I was for sure, I thought that Eat Me, Drink Me was going to win, but no.
Wow.
My money would have been on the Pale Emperor.
I would have gone Pale Emperor as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but you people said the High End of Low. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the High End of Low. So this is the artwork for the High End of Low. And I remember this came out on May 20th in 2009, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This cover is straight out of Hot Topic. It's like, I'm going to be so edgy that I'm going to put this red light on my face. And I remember, I think I bought this record in Hot Topic, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Señorita Sabrosura sold it to me. No.
Seems fitting. All the connections.
Yes, all the connections are there. So we're going to talk about this album. So a little bit of background on this album. This album came out. This is the Twiggy Ramirez was back in the band. So this is the first album that after they took like a break, Twiggy's back in the band. And that's like a winning combination from Manson and Twiggy. And it's the last album to have Ginger Fish on drums.
Ginger Fish, what a name.
That's his name.
I know.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
They had weird names, like they were trying to be so shocking all the time. And this is also the last album for the band on Interscope Records. So yeah, a lot of history. Like I'm paying homage to JC now, and I'm giving you the facts, the history.
He's done his research, people.
I did my research. Thank you, Wikipedia. So if that's wrong, it's all on you, Wikipedia. So you know the drill, people. We have the 3 rounds. First, we give our first impressions on when we listen to this album. Then we go into the second round where we pick 3 or 4 songs that we think are the weakest. And then the third and final round, we give our final thoughts, thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumb sideways. And we say, we vote if it's that bad or not. And we give our closing remarks. So since this album is so I remember when I said this one. Chili said, like, I know this album a lot, so I'm like, so awesome. So let's start with Chili today. We'll go Chili, then JC, then Matthew, then me. So Chili, your first impressions when you listen to this album.
First impressions. Well, let's wind back the clock because I got this album all the way back in 2009, but I don't believe Hot Topic exists in Australia. I could be mistaken. I never saw it. Instead, I got this album, like many around about this time, because I went down to my local library, and the library just had this massive collection of CDs. And whoever was making, the decision to purchase these CDs must have had amazing taste in music, because I discovered Rammstein through there. I discovered so
Libraries here
many.
suck.
At a public library?
A public library in Australia. We're awesome. We're ahead of the curve. We've got CDs that you can rent.
Rammstein.
Yeah, das ist sehr gut. There's a whole story about Rammstein. This person just gone, hey, you should listen to this album. I'm like, yeah. What's a Rammstein? So yeah, anyway, I would constantly go up to my local library because it's a source of free music. I could just you could pick 10 CDs. So I just pick like album cover. That looks good. This looks good. Take it home, rip it on my computer. If I thought it was worthy, I'd keep it. And I knew Marilyn Manson, obviously, from years ago, and I owned one or two of his albums. And then I saw this album just sitting there gleaming at me. And it's like, obviously, the album artwork is so polarizing with its red and blue and that neon looking thing around his head, like the opposite of a halo. I'm like, yes, new Marilyn Manson. I gotta get this. Pick it up, go back home, and I listen to it. And, young impressionable me, I enjoyed this album, played it a lot. I certainly had it on repeat a lot around about this time. That would, be the gist, I guess. My first impressions of the albums were pretty good. I loved what I was hearing. And, obviously I'll talk more at the end of the episode about my thoughts on the record. But, at first I really did enjoy this album.
Nice. So what about you, JC?
Okay, to be honest with you, I've never gotten into Marilyn Manson. I know the singles. Yeah, I remember listening to him, like The Dope Show. I used to like that song. The one that was on the House on Haunted Hill movie, the cover song of Sweet Dreams. I like that song, but otherwise I've never listened to his album. So I went into this as a newcomer. Also, I kind of like procrastinated. I waited like to the last minute because I know we've been planning this for like 2 weeks, but I waited until like this morning to actually listen to it for the first time, and I took my notes. And I thought it was kind of different because what I read, I saw that it was a little more of an experimental album. It was like doing different styles, and usually I like that. And since I'm not like a big mega fan, like I'm not someone who's like only gonna like the his older stuff, the whatever, the Eat Me Drink Me album or whatever. Like those albums, I know like those are probably the ones that the fans like, but so I didn't really have anything to compare it to. So kind of going into it as a newcomer, I thought some songs I liked, some I didn't like, some I kind of felt indifferent about it. So again, in the upcoming rounds, I'll go into more detail, but it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Nice. So what about you, Matthew?
I'm kind of similar with JC on this because like I know Marilyn Manson from his hits and everything, and I think when he was in his big heyday, I was in middle school at the time. So, and I guess the shock value was very like, it is pretty heavy, but at the same time, he is kind of crazy. I don't know if I want to get into him, so I was always never a full-on Marilyn Manson fan. But yeah, I would say I was completely no, but I was just like, whoa, this is intense. I was like, Slipknot is fine, but Marilyn Manson seems way too intense. I know, right?
Where do you draw the line?
With your 555-666 is fine, but with Marilyn Manson,
burning a cross upside down.
Yeah. And like you said, the cover song, the Sweet Dreams. I think he did another one, that Depeche Mode.
Enjoy the Silence, was it?
No, it was Personal Jesus.
Not person. They did it for Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was Personal Jesus, and the video
yeah.
is him in a hot tub with this super
Oh,
chick. And I remember thinking, like, how in the hell is this man getting these women? I'm sorry. To me,
he was
Marilyn Manson
prime. He
is
was at his prime, baby.
this is how I would call it. He's fugly, which is short for
He's
fucking ugly.
I didn't say it.
I
Yeah,
said
yeah. Hate on him. Hate on him.
Yeah, that way. But like I said, the singles, the big hits, I'm a fan of them. I've never done a deep dive. Like I feel like I missed the mark on Marilyn Manson growing up and everything. And I vividly remember this album coming out in '09 when I was getting more into like metal, going to shows and whatnot. And I was like, the album is very like very striking. You notice it. But I would say just like the album title, the high end of low, that it kind of fits with this overall feel. Like it's not the best stuff, but it's still like just kind of okay as best as you could do. Because um, a lot of the tracks felt kind of like they could have gone like a couple more rounds of like reworking it. Like not all the tracks seemed finished or. Another thing, they could have shortened some songs too, for sure. Like some songs, I was like, "This is good, this is good." Oh, there's another verse. Oh, we're gonna keep going. So I think there's a lot of good ideas here, but just too much. I guess just too much of a wrong time and not finished ideas. But the production and everything, I like how it sounds for the most part. Minus a few tracks here and there. Overall, I'm looking at my notes. Most of the songs I do like. But also, it was that era of the like mid 2000s garage rock where like the Strokes and the Hives and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of those bands a little bit at the time, but with like more of a gothic aesthetic, like draped all over it. I don't know. It gave me some like Marilyn Manson garage. He's going through his
invented
garage
golf
rock phase.
garage.
Yeah,
Garage.
that's what I
Golf
was
garage
feeling.
bands.
Golf garage bands.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Target, so you go to Hot Topic and listen instead. I don't know, but yeah, those are my impressions on this. Yeah, it's just really just a lot of okay, high end of okay.
Okay. So for me, I did listen to Manson in the 90s. I grew up in a Catholic school, so anything
Wow.
that was like
Oh my
rebellion
gosh.
or anti-religion, count me in.
Sign me up,
Yeah.
ho. Sign me up.
I'm like, sign me up, these nuns. God,
Oh,
God
they're
damn
standing
it.
around like, I want to listen to Creed. Yeah, listen to Creed. And you're like, Marilyn Manson. Hell yeah.
No,
Hell yeah, brother.
they would say that Creed is really is
Yeah, I know.
too. But I remember the first time I heard Manson was with Sweet Dreams, and I thought that's one of the best covers I've heard in my life. Like he made that song so like I'm like, was that
It's
song?
really good. Yeah.
It's a great cover.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, was that song creepy all the time? Because now when I listen to a song, it's like, wow, it was really creepy, but the Eurythmics did it in a way that sounded playful. But what Manson did with that cover, I think that's one of my favorite covers of all time. It's that's how you do a cover, because if you didn't know that it was an Eurythmic song, you would think that it's a Marilyn Manson song. And
Absolutely.
JC, if you haven't got into Manson, Antichrist Superstar, that's a classic album. The Antichrist Superstar, Mechanical Animals, and
Mechanical,
and Hollywood. Those
Hollywood,
three albums, those are the three.
The trifecta.
Yeah, the trifecta.
The unholy trifecta.
That's why I didn't put them on the list, because like who would have voted for those?
No.
But after Hollywood, Eat Me, Drink Me was like very like, it was like Marilyn Manson light. It was like he went. I don't know. Like
you also had the grotesque
tamed.
age. Yeah, you had the grotesque age before that as well.
Yeah, the grotesque.
Which is fine.
Yeah, it was fine. But then he went like totally different. It was like super hot topicy, like very trendy. He even cut his hair short. I don't know, and he had a song there about like breaking your heart-shaped glasses, and I was like, huh? And now when I listen to that song, it's like, boy, that didn't age well.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
legal
That was
reasons for him. So when the high end of Low came out, I was like, kind of like, like I'm like, I don't know. It seems like he's had like a dip in quality, but I was in Hot Topic and I saw that they had it on sale, and I said, what the fuck? And I bought it.
Yeah, why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
because I think I listened to Arma fucking Geddon, and I felt
Yeah,
like,
I'm a goddamn
yeah,
motherfucker getting to
yeah, that
something.
sounded like
Yeah.
that sounded like an other version of Rocky's Dead or other
Mm.
songs that he has. So it's like Disposable Teens. It had something of those tracks. So I'm like, yeah, I'll get it. So when it came out, I think I did enjoy it at the time. I thought it was better than Eat Me, Drink Me, I think. So, but I haven't listened to this album in a long time. So I
Oh.
just remembered Arma fucking Geddon and Leave a Scar, which I think is one. That's a like what the Green Man would say, a dark horse song. Leave a Scar is a great.
Ah,
Yeah, well, that's the
yeah,
third
yeah.
one. What doesn't kill
I'll,
you,
I'll tell you another. I'll tell you another one. But do you want me to leave it for a bit later?
leave it for later. So, so yeah, when I listened to it, yeah, I think I enjoyed it. You know, 2009. I'm like, that was yesterday. No, that's 15 years.
Mm.
Thanks for
15
reminding
years.
me.
Oh,
Fuck.
I was in my 30s. So yeah. So, but I did listen to it. So yeah, those are our first impressions. So now we're going to round number two,
Oh yeah.
where we're
Two.
gonna talk about 3 or 4 tracks from the record. So Chili,
Round number
take us
2.
away.
All right, so worst tracks, correct? I'm just trying to
Mhm.
recall this one, but
Yes.
yeah, look, this album, I love the first stuff, right? So it certainly does have a dip in quality because of the length of this, the runtime, I guess, of the entire album. It is a very long album. And for me, that moment, the exact moment, can pretty much be pinpointed right down to the ninth track, Wow. And it's like the second half just dips down. So Wow is the track that I just did not like. I thought it kind of, despite the fact that it's, right after that 9 minute long I Want to Kill You like they do in the movies track, which is a slow track, but I liked it because it follows his earlier styles when he was trying out, these long, sludgier kind of pieces almost. But yeah, then WoW comes along and I'm like, nah, this just doesn't do it for me. It's, I don't know, kind of been like Nine Inch Nails to a degree.
Do
And I
not
think didn't
insult Nine Inch Nails, my friend.
but like I guess that brings back to the
Trent
point like you were
Reznor would
saying.
never write that shit.
But this is like what I guess you were saying before, because didn't they have that falling out just before this album?
Uh,
oh,
I think they had a falling out, like,
around this time, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
uh,
guess that might be an
no,
interesting little.
I think it was before because
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails, when they put out the Fragile in 1999,
Okay.
they had the
That was
song
way back.
Starfuckers. And
Yeah.
in that song,
Starfucker
he's
Sync.
throwing stuff at Manson, Fred Durst. So the falling out,
Hmm.
it had been 10 years, I think,
Okay, okay.
falling out.
So
Yeah.
I look, I mean, obviously it's not like this what do you call it, a diss track or nothing like that, but I feel like he's trying to take emulations, I guess, of Nine Inch Nails on here. He's trying to recreate Trent Reznor. I just felt, and failing in the process. It just sucks. It's such it feels like, I don't know, was it the Bay of Pigs? I can't recall, but if you listen to it, it's like one of those songs that I feel like they just took the drum pattern of one of his other songs from the Downward Spiral
Maybe
and just
Piggy.
maybe Piggy. It was one of those songs. It was, yeah, anyway, something from definitely Up the Downward Spiral. I felt like they just got the drum pattern and just applied it to their own song here. And it just comes across as this extremely lazy version because all you can hear is obviously Nine Inch Nails, if you were thinking
Mm,
about it.
mm.
And you're like, this isn't Nine Inch Nails. This isn't doing it for me. So it doesn't work. So yeah, definitely Wow is a track that I just did not enjoy. Followed up by White Spider, spelt of course Whight, because Marilyn Manson loves to twist the lyric. Sorry, not sorry. He likes to twist the title tracks of many
Edgy.
songs. Edgy, yes, yes. We Are Chaos and such. And yeah, White Spider was not a good track either, followed by again then Unkillable Monster, which also, given events that would transpire, may seem a bit on the nose. Because he's talking about himself just not being able to be, he's an unkillable monster. He is such an icon at this stage, type of thing. So there's these 3 tracks in a row right after a really decent song, and it slows down the entire album for me. Almost grinds it to a halt. And then you're looking at the track list still, and you're going, shit, there's still 5 more tracks or whatever it is after here. And that really, I guess coming back to it when we discussed this, I'm like, yeah, I guess I didn't really look at this with such a hyper-focused viewpoint. But yeah, those tracks definitely were the worst ones for me. I will talk about some other tracks in the next section, but yeah, those are definitely the ones that were the low points for me, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's one song that everyone will pick, and I'll see if that's true. So
Ooh.
JC, your picks.
Okay. Actually, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have some different ones, but I'll give you mine. Opening track, Devour. I don't know. It like reminded me of like U2. Like I still haven't found what I'm looking for. That's what it reminded me. It was just like
What?
it was like too
You
slow.
Could
I
you
put that in
imagine
my
this
notes.
album
I
was
said the
forced
same
onto your
thing.
phone?
Right? Yeah.
Could you imagine this
That's what I
album was
got from
forced
it.
on your Apple products instead of the U2 one? Like,
Yeah. And plus like the song like it didn't really go anywhere. It was maybe like the last minute it like picked up. But the second one, Pretty as a Swastika, it was like that garage rock, like the Strokes, the Hives, that type of sound. That's why I didn't like it. It was kind of simple. It was like it was the garage rock, but like with like a little bit of goth, like you guys were saying before. So I didn't like that one. Then Arma Goddamn Motherfucking Get in that one. It was just I think it's just the lyrics.
being
The
silly.
music wasn't that bad. There was like the dark synth industrial, but I think just the lyrics were
Is that the
just the
one
way
where
they
he
were written.
says first you try to fuck and then you try to
Then
eat?
you try to eat me, and
Yeah, I'm
then you
Yeah,
like,
something
try,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, first you try to fuck it, then you try to eat it. Yeah, and then if it doesn't learn your name, then you whatever or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was that one. And I actually didn't like that 9-minute song. I Want to Kill You Like You Do in the movies. I thought it was just I just felt it dragged on. Like it was like
Yeah,
there
yeah.
wasn't enough there for me to enjoy it. But that's all. That's my 4. I think like later on I'll mention a few songs that I actually liked, which I want to see if other people like pick them. But there were
Mm.
some of the weirder ones which I kind of like got into. But I don't know that's all. Yeah.
okay.
Mm.
Well, I'm wrong. Not everyone picked the one I thought. So,
Yeah.
Matthew, what 3 songs do you pick? What do you think are the worst offenders?
Worst offenders. There are 2 that are for sure that are like pretty bad for me or very mid. I mean a lot of the other songs were okay, but out of all the okay songs, I thought Leave a Scar was kind of like it was too similar to Pretty Like a Swastika. Like
I
it
love
just felt
that
like a
track.
continuation. Oh, Leave a Scar. Oh man, I'm always hating on your tracks. It just feels a bit lackluster, I feel like. It just doesn't feel
No.
My
energetic
favorite
and
song from the record.
oh my God. And
Oh, you
it's
burned him
not
hard.
bad, it's just super okay to me. Oh man.
Sorry, Matthew,
It's
this
the
might be your last
Songbird.
episode to appear on.
Hi guys, it's been great. I've had a great time on this series.
Matthew, this is the Songbird from this album.
Oh.
We did
See,
an
that's my
Oasis
problem.
episode, and he said that song, and I'm like, everyone loves
Oh.
Songbird.
I hate every song that everyone likes apparently without
Yeah,
even
apparently.
trying. I'm 2 for 2 now. Like
If he was listening to Led Zeppelin, he'd be like, "That Stairway to Heaven, fuck, that goes nowhere, man." Yeah.
I like, how was that a hit?
Yeah.
that's another side note for another day, TBH.
Ooh.
It's
No, I'm just
overplayed.
messing with
Carrot
you.
on a
Stairway to Heaven is dope.
stick.
I like Stairway.
Going back to Manson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. what was it? Arma goddamn motherfucking Geddon. It's just a real left field sounding song and just sounds just weird in terms of the song structure and then like the lyrics and everything. It's just cheesy. Like I didn't want to judge when I saw the name and I was like, all right, keep a clear mind, keep a clear mind. And it did what I thought it was gonna be. It was gonna be cheesy and it did. And then
Apparently, Bruce Dickinson co-wrote it with him.
that
I'm
makes
kidding,
sense.
people. People are gonna be in the comments like, "How dare you!" Like,
Coming at you. But I will say I like the bass on the song. It has a very distinctive sound, but also at the very end of the song, he does like some like whispers when like singing and everything. I'm just like, it just felt too try hard. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not the beautiful people. It just doesn't. It's not working. Yeah. And the last one I would say would be Black and White. I guess I'm looking at my notes here. I like the lyrics, I like the vocals, but it just sounds like a simple garage rock sound from that mid 2000s. Yeah, is this mid
Was that
2000s? Yeah,
Blank
mid
and
2000s.
White?
Blank and White. Sorry, Blank and White. I said
Yeah.
Black and White. Blank and White, and it's just overall just not a great song. It's just poorly made, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah,
interesting.
kind of a forgettable song, I feel, but that's just me.
Good. So I was wrong. We were not going to pick all the right tracks, but I have Wow. Wow is, I think that's one of the worst songs ever written by Marilyn Manson. The song it just sounds at first
Wow.
like
Wow.
he's like talking like he's like talking, doing like a Leonard Cohen type of thing, but more creepy, like Count Chocula reciting some shit. And then he's like, there's a line in the song. He's like, I want to take you seriously, but you let me inside you. So I'm thinking, like, are you saying that she's too hot to fuck you? Like,
Yeah.
like, are you agreeing that you're fugly as hell? Like,
He's agreeing with you
then
beforehand.
he went to Fugly Anonymous, and they're like, the first step is admitting that you're fugly. But yeah, that
He
song,
went there.
and it ends like he goes like, wow. And no, and the worst part is where he goes like, wow, 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 wow. I'm like, if you're not Snoop Dogg, you can do wow wows. No, no, no.
Oh.
Only Snoop
Oh,
Dogg can do wow, 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 yippee yo, yippee yay, the sounds of the dog. But if you're not Snoop Dogg, you are banned from doing that. Like Manson,
Yeah,
you are
that's
white as
true.
fuck. Like,
stay in
no,
your lane, Manson.
Yeah,
Stay in your lane.
you're
stay in
not
your
part of the
lane.
Crips.
And I
Oh,
don't know. And I was
Crip
reading
walk.
I was reading the Wikipedia, and he claims that that song was like a more dance, and it's like the steering point of the album. I'm like, dude, like
Yeah.
someone should have told you, like, that wow song. Yeah, wow, delete it, please. Please never speak of this song ever again. It's just dog shit. It's
that's why they
yeah.
needed to go through it again. I thought they needed to like, hey, work on these
no,
songs a couple more times before like releasing them because they
yeah.
just needed more work on them.
I'm telling you, I don't want to listen to that song ever again. And I don't know if I remember this song from 2009. Maybe it got repressed in my memory
Oh,
because
absolutely.
because I didn't remember that song, and I was like, wow, this is atrociously bad. I didn't get the Nine Inch Nails comparison, but I just thought it sounded like a weird synthesizer, like Gary Glitter meets Leonard Cohen.
Oh.
I don't know. It was just so bad, and the lyrics were bad. His vocal delivery was cheesy as hell.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God. You're saying everything in my notes. I even said the Nine Inch Nail things about like a poor man's Nine Inch Nails when I put in my notes and the cheesy part.
yeah,
Oh man.
it's just a bad. It's an atrocious track that should have never existed. And to have that, like when you put that like in the album, it really takes you away from the experience of the record. But I gotta say, I like JC. I agree with a song that JC had, and I also have it, and it's "I Want to Kill You," like they do in the movies. This is
Oh,
a
come on.
9-minute song. No, and I heard this. The actual runtime for this song really was gonna be 25 minutes.
Oh,
Shut up. Really?
No, it's
25 minutes?
Wikipedia says it.
Oh.
I'm like 25 minutes.
Whoa.
And
bruh.
the subject matter of this song is like he broke up with Evan Rachel Wood, who would come back to haunt him in a unique way. And on this song, he's saying that he wants to put a sledgehammer and break his skull. I'm like, dude, this is evidence. like he's
Oh, yeah.
I like the beginning of the song. I think this song, if this was like a 4.5 minute song, it would work because I like the bass line in it, but it
Yeah.
goes too long. And it sounds there's a part in the song where he sounds like it sounds like he's doing
God.
drunk karaoke.
God.
It's like,
Yeah.
I wanna kill you like they do in the movies. It sounds like he's drunk in a karaoke, just bitching and complaining about his ex. So, like
Wow.
a trimming to that song would have made it better. And a lot of other songs here, he was divorced from Dita Von Teese. And again, how this man got these women, to me, and Rose, like but he had a type. They were like all like
Oh, yeah,
extremely
yeah.
white. They had like a look to them. They had like a vintage look to them, but they were all hot.
He has a
Not
type,
for
and
him.
I like that type. It's a good type.
It's
Yeah,
a good
damn
type.
goth
So
chicks.
you know what you gotta do. You gotta be a golf rocker, and you'll get with
And
those
with
chicks.
tig old biddies.
Yeah,
The big
but
old titty goth girls.
yeah.
I need them in my life.
So the other song that I'm picking is actually it's not Arma Goddamn Motherfucking Get On. I think it's cheesy, but it's
It's Marilyn
entertaining
Manson.
cheese. Yeah,
It's
but
Marilyn Manson, you know?
yeah,
Hmm.
the one that I'm picking is We're From America.
Oh, God.
And this was the
Oh.
thing. Oh no, I'm gonna tell you why I picked this one.
Okay, go.
He's trying too hard to be he's trying too hard to he's like, oh, I have this song, I'm going to be like so edgy, I'm going to shock you. I'm like, no, it's he had done that type of song before way better. This one is just I thought it was lazy, even the lyrics, like we're from America, and like
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that it was a ripoff of like we are living in America,
Mm. And that came out
Coca-Cola,
2 years before, I think.
Wonderbra.
Couple of years
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Rammstein one was more tongue-in-cheek, so that it worked. But this one he's trying to be a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but serious. And he had songs in the past, like the ones that like the I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me, or the one that is all about like do you have your guns? He had songs in the past that did that better than this track. So that's why I'm picking
They alluded to that type of subject matter within America. This one was more focused, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was that great. And I wanted to pick, I could have picked, like, I think the album Closer 15 is boring as hell.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah.
But it's
I
boring.
completely
But
forgot about that track.
no, and he said on the wiki on his notes that that was the most important song that he had written, because apparently that song was gonna be tied in with "I Want to Kill You" like they do in the movies. Because you know, it was gonna be like a 25-minute.
Must be the 15 minutes they cut off. That's why they called it 15.
Probably. So yeah, those are the tracks. So we all pick. I thought for sure that everyone was gonna pick "Wow," but I was mistaken. So I'm scared. I wonder what JC's gonna pick as his favorite tracks. So now we're going to the third and final round, where we give our final thoughts, and obviously thumbs up, thumbs down, or sideways. So Chili, your final thoughts on this one?
I always had it in my mind where this album would sit, and I found it quite perplexing, I guess, why everyone else thought otherwise. I really did enjoy this album back in the day, and, going over it, it's interesting to hear you guys talking about some of the tracks that I thought I enjoyed. I really did. Like, I'm a goddamn motherfucking get it. I love that track. It is cheesy as hell, but, it's Marilyn Manson done, like his style back in the day as well. Blank and White was another one that I enjoyed because he's talking about, I guess, that kind of censorship thing, which almost seems prevalent now more than it did back then. I thought that's
Mm.
pretty interesting when you're looking over it. But a track, I don't know if anyone's going to mention this, but I love Four Rusted Horses. I think that is an amazing
Oh,
song. It's
and that's
very
a
weird.
prelude to what he did on We Are Chaos, where he went more in the country vibe.
Yeah, like I guess people might make a comparison, for example, with Coma White or something from Mechanical Animals album. But I really enjoyed Four Rusted Horses. I think it's an intriguing song, and the way he talks about, like everyone's gonna come to my funeral to make sure that I'm dead is like a really intriguing lyric. And who knows if that how much that'll play into the future, I guess. But
Mm.
and I really do enjoy I Want to Kill You like they do in the movies, ignoring, I guess, the whole meaning behind it. Because I love longer tracks. Like I love, you got a Smashing Pumpkins, for example, with what is it, XYU, for example, the 9 minute track there, and a few other songs. And Marilyn Manson also does it here as well. But I just love the
Porcelina of the Vast Oceans.
yeah, that's right. Like those ones as well. And I just love the ones that you can kind of get lost in. And that bass line just plods along the entire time. And it's like a perfect driving song, I guess. You just kind of play it and it's just there and it's got a great rhythmic bass. That bass line I just absolutely adore. I was reading up as well just beforehand that apparently around about the time the band were getting together, around about this time, what was it? The guitarist had quit. I think Wes Borland temporarily acted as the guitarist during a tour in South Korea. And
What?
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
for a
that's right.
very, very yeah, for a very limited time, Wes Borland was the guitarist for Marilyn Manson, wrote some material for this album and they said like, no, we don't really want that. We want you to be like a hired guitarist or something. There was a weird thing. So there was a point, I guess, is just bringing this up. It could have been a very interesting and different album had Wes Borland been playing a part in this record. So
Oh.
take that as it is a weird moment in music history. Now, all that said and done, is this a perfect album? No, it's definitely not. It's definitely got flaws, but it's an album that I love. I really do enjoy the first half, the first 8 tracks pretty much of this record. There's a handful of tracks in the second half that aren't bad, but not amazing. And I guess, well, I'm definitely going to give it a thumbs up, but I'll even go a little bit further and say, for me, this might even be top 5 Marilyn Manson material for me, maybe even further up. This is something that, at least at the time when I was listening to Marilyn Manson, I was getting heavily into Marilyn Manson. So it came out at this perfect time for me. So nostalgia might be bleeding into this. And
Mm.
considering the album that came out before this, Eat Me, Drink Me, which was which was a pretty crappy album, and then the one before that, which
I'm
was,
surprised that didn't get more votes.
I know, yeah. But the one that came out before that, The Golden Age of Grotesque, was okay. It had some great tracks, but for me, I felt like this song had a much more steadier groove to it and certainly tried a lot more things. And it's interesting, I just want to add this last bit, but the high end of low, it kind of personified, I guess, my musical taste on Marilyn Manson because this kind of felt like it capped off on a high, and then everything else he released after was a low up until We Are Chaos. But that's another discussion. So
Good,
yeah, it's definitely a thumbs up for me. Strong thumbs up.
good. That's why we have this. This is the interesting discussion. Like everyone, we don't discuss our what we're gonna say. This is totally like we do it this live. So so now we're going to JC. Final thoughts and rating.
Okay, I guess I have a different opinion. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I mean, I thought it was pretty good, and I'm doing it because I thought it was different, being that I'm not really familiar with his discography, but I like the fact that it went in different directions. And plus, I only listened to this today, so I'm kind of new to it. I think if I gave it a few more listens, even the ones I said I didn't like in the second round, I think they might grow on me. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you some of the songs I liked, and I'll just
Yeah,
put this
please do so.
out there right now. I thought the song "Wow" was pretty good, only because it reminded me of the. Do you remember the band Cake? And they're
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah.
going the
Yeah, yeah,
distance.
yeah, yeah.
he's
It
going the
reminded me of that.
distance.
He did like this like rapping kind of thing. And I'm thinking like this kind of reminds me of Cake. So that's why I got into that song. And again, it's only going off one listen. So maybe, if I like do more listens to this album, then I might have a different opinion. But I like that song. Four Rusted Horses. I like that one a lot. It was like
Mm.
goth country. Pretty good.
Yes.
It's just a really good song.
Chili's
I
vindicated.
like the
Yes.
blank. Yeah, I like the Blank and White. I thought that one
Yes,
was good. It's
again.
kind of like a little grungy, a little more alternative. Running to the Edge of the World. It reminded me of like one of those like hair metal like ballads from the 80s. I mean, he probably like took like 5 minutes to write it. It's just like strumming four chords on an acoustic. Probably, I'm pretty sure anybody could just
Every
like,
rose has its thorn.
yeah. I wouldn't even be
Running to
surprised if it was the
the
same
edge of
progression as
the
that.
world.
Actually,
But that's what it sounds like. But I think he made it work. I also like read some like comments. People were comparing it to David Bowie. So
Well,
I
apparently,
thought that,
that song it was inspired by David Bowie.
yeah,
oh
He's a
yeah,
Bowie
shit.
fan. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So many little
Um,
tidbits just being learned today.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
also the Unkillable Monster. That was another one that was kind of like a David Bowie type of song. It was like that 70s glam rock. I thought it was pretty good. So it had like the
Hmm.
acoustic guitar, so I thought it was good. Now, as far as the other songs, like probably not like the last four songs on the album, maybe it dragged a little, but I think they were kind of like songs that I didn't hate them, but I didn't love them. But again, maybe like they had the potential of growing on me. So I think I could get into this album. That's what I'm saying. So it's a thumbs up for me. Yeah.
Nice. So we
Yeah.
have
Mm.
two thumbs
Very
up.
good.
So Matthew, no pressure. No, your final thoughts
All pressure,
and
baby.
yeah.
I will say, I think this is the first time while doing this. I've only done these collaborations for like my fourth time that
Mm.
I think my opinion's been swayed. My opinion was
Wow.
one way, but like looking at how all my notes about it, the overallness of the what I like, what I don't like, and hearing everyone's thoughts and just hearing more stories about the album and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, I think it can grow on me more. I think I like this more than I want to. And
Mm.
with a couple more listens, I think I could enjoy it more, even like with the long runtime and everything. There are some good tracks, like the ways you guys were pointing out, what Four Rusted Horses. I think initially I didn't, I thought it was just very okay, but then hearing your guys' thoughts on it, I'm like, actually, I think it's better than I originally gave it. And so, like some of the songs that I did like, I was really surprised. White Spider, ugh, I really like that one, and I'm really just not really feeling that one. But
Mm.
I just
Not for
like,
me.
yeah, I just like the overall dark sound of it and just how heavy it sounds. The sound of
Mm.
it's really
Yeah.
good, and also We're From America, another one that.
Oh, that's what I forgot to mention. Sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead. What do you mean?
Sorry, I know that you Hector, you didn't like that song, but for me, I felt like it was their ode to the song "We're the Kids of America," like their take a
It
bit
sounded
on it.
like it sounded like a
Ah,
cover of We're the Kids in America.
Yeah. Like he's giving it like his ode to that song, and yeah, that's what I forgot to mention earlier.
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of covers or like homages on this album that I think he kind of worked in really well, or like at first I didn't like him as much, or I thought it was just kind of just mid and everything, but the more I'm like digesting and looking at it, I like this album more than I wanted to. And it's just I would have
Hmm.
to originally thumbs down, but I'm going thumbs up. I think it like at the
Wow.
bare minimum thumbs up. Like I'll give it like a 7 out of 10, but it's like barely there, but it's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
Interesting.
like it's interesting. this is what happens. He wrote this while, I think it's all over the place. He was going through like breakups and divorce. So, hey, I'm divorced. Maybe I should write a fucking album.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. This is your moment.
And we'll put it on an Is It That Bad episode.
I'll critique myself. So,
The next
so
day it's
for me-
released.
yeah. So for me, I hadn't listened to his album in a while, and I think this is an album that it's long. There could have been a little trimming, but I think this is the first time that Marilyn Manson was experimenting more, like because like the horses song. I'm like, yeah, this sounds like because We Are Chaos. He embraced that, and We Are Chaos to me is a very underrated album. That was a great, and I think that his style when he does like that golf country, it kind of works. It's like a sinister, like a sinister like country music, and his voice for it works. And I like it where he says like everyone's going to go to his funeral to make sure that he's dead. It would have been funny if he added the lyric and maybe someone will spit on my grave or something like that. And I think I love Leave a Scar. I remember like, what doesn't kill you will leave a scar. I felt like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I love it, like, yes, love does leave a scar. Like, everyone has a scar. And Devour, I thought is good, but it's a weird opening track because it like
very weird
like,
for opening,
I want to
think.
devour you, but I'm like, Manson, if you devour her, like you can't be with her. It's illegal to devour people.
No,
Like,
no.
yeah.
No eating in here.
Yeah, no. I know there's some weird stuff that people ask. Oh, and the swastika song, they changed it because that's where because Interscope like you can't put like pretty like hot as a swastika. But what he's referring to in this song is that this girl that's like very white. He was talking about Dita Von Teese, like she's like so perfect that he put the swastika
Oh,
to be clever, because Hitler wanted, the perfect race,
yeah.
because
Oh.
because he had deep-sided issues, man. Like,
Ooh.
but that's
Yeah.
another
I
song.
always thought he was comparing the like how bad money can be to
Yeah,
that.
he put the money thing
Also
because
that.
then yeah.
You can't
But,
put the symbol
but,
on.
but he got he got censored, and that's when he started like talking trash about Interscope and their CEO, so they dropped him. And
Yeah,
Trent
right,
Reznor
right.
said that that Marilyn Manson was a clown. So yeah, a lot of stuff behind. I think like we're doing like a behind the music episode.
Yo, for reals.
And so yeah, so that was interesting, but I think there's some hidden gems in this long album. Is it a
Yes,
perfect album?
yes.
Like Shirley said, no, it's not. But I think it's endearing. I don't know why. There's some because I think on this album,
You don't want to
Manson,
hate it, but you love it in a weird way.
yeah, because I think Manson, instead of being like all evil and the Antichrist superstar, uh, he's actually showing like some vulnerability. Uh, Also,
Yeah.
some fucked up places because he's talking about killing people with a sledgehammer, but it's like it's breakup song. So I think it gave a different flavor, and then he experimented more on that with like the Pale Emperor, which I thought is an album that had some good like suffered like a similar fate to it, but I think Eat Me, Drink Me. I'm surprised that got so much low votes because I was ready to talk about that album, but I'm like, oh, that's a great curveball that the fans, the Couchers, sent our way. So I listened to this I listened to this quite a while, and I think that the only song that is atrociously bad is Wow. That is because even though the other songs I think they have some misgivings, they're they're okay, but Wow is just atrocious. I think that song should not exist. So that's the only one I'm throwing in the trash because it's so bad. But I'm actually
1 out of 14, that's not bad.
a thumbs up too. So
Mm.
there you have it. We all have said
Synonymous.
the high end of low. It's I don't think it's that bad. Has it aged well? No,
Ah.
it can be used as like this is basically
It
evidence.
might be in a court case. Who knows?
It could well Chili, have you read his book?
No, but I remember when we were talking about Marilyn Manson on controversial figures, you had read the book,
Oh, yeah.
and the stuff you were talking about, I'm like, I didn't know this, and I kind of didn't want to know this either.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
one of those it's kind of like one of those musicians where you kind of listen to him in secrecy a bit now, or at least it was the case a couple of months ago. But there's some of the stuff you were talking about in this book. I've got to read it. It sounds very intriguing,
No,
but
he
I
there's
think
no,
yeah,
so when people are like, I'm surprised that he does this evil stuff. Didn't you read the book? Like,
yeah, because it came out years ago, didn't it? It was like 10, 15 years ago.
oh, I remember that came out at
Oh.
the height of his popularity.
Yeah, yeah, it was a long
Oh.
time ago.
And
So
I'm
People just
telling you,
forgot.
no, it's
yeah,
not.
well, history forgets, don't it?
Yeah, so
Mm.
yeah, but we want to know from people, you voted this one as the one that you want to talk about. So comment, why do you
Mm.
think this album is that bad? Why did you vote more for this than the other albums that were on that? Because I really was surprised that this one won actually, because I thought there were some other ones that was gonna get more votes, but you never know.
Yeah.
So we want to know what do you think of this album. And coming up next on Is It That Bad, we're gonna go back to 2018 when Stone Temple Pilots released their first record after Scott Weiland died. And I'm like, that's an interesting one because when like an iconic band changed,
And Chester as well, wasn't it?
he was with them for like an EP, but Scott was still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he did an EP. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like Stone Temple Park. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It didn't. I don't think it meshed well with that music, but that's another episode. So we're gonna talk about this one, and JC Rock and Metal Reviews will join me for that one, and we'll have some two new panelists that haven't been on the channel. One is another YouTuber channel, and the other one is in a band that I interviewed, and he loves this type of music, so he's gonna be on that episode. So watch that for next Sunday, hopefully. And if you like the videos, please give us a thumbs and subscribe to our channels. I want to thank my panels, my guests for this episode. First of all, Chili from Live Listening Race, he's almost at 900. So people, he's
Getting
got
there.
great content. He does some 5-minute reviews. Sometimes they're under 5 minutes. Sometimes they're more than 5 minutes. I'm like, I wonder when he records this. He's like, time, you, time. I went
I'm
fast.
speeding this one up.
Like oh, I gotta do it fast. It's supposed to be 5 minutes. At least you didn't do like 3-minute reviews. You would be like, you would be like,
Oh, 30-second reviews. Album bad, album good.
album bad.
Buy now.
Yeah. And also you have you're returning with the Live Listen Erase show, and we're gonna be
Yes.
I think we're gonna be on his channel.
It's this whole panel coming up for
Yeah,
an
his channel
episode.
is gonna be, and I think on that one we're gonna pick like different albums. Everyone's picked different albums, so it's gonna be interesting. So that's gonna be coming up sometime in some weeks, but it's gonna be interesting. So subscribe to Live Listen Erase, JC Rock and Metal Reviews. The man that knows history, and the best beard on YouTube, hands down. Nobody rocks the beard like JC does. So subscribe subscribe to his channel, and he's got great album reviews, and he does like great history, he goes deep into the history, and he's got some knowledge that I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So subscribe to JC. And finally, Matthew from Diceable Reviews, he talks a lot about he does hardcore music. And apparently he's super into Bruce Dickinson now because I saw that he
Thought you were about
did,
to say Bruce Springsteen for a second.
no, he did a
I'm always into the
review.
boss man. The boss man's the king.
He did a review for the album we covered.
Tattooed Millionaire.
Is it that bad? I'm thinking you secretly love that album, man.
Yeah, he had it tattooed on him several times ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta give the people what they wanted.
He's
Yeah,
just got to
I
become a
was-
millionaire so he can live up to it.
I'm thinking that Matthew's gonna get like a tattooed millionaire on his back and like
Oh,
a
yeah.
Bruce
portrait of
Dickinson.
Bruce. Like, so he does those reviews, and he also he sometimes he interviews like underground hardcore bands, and he does. I'm not a fan of like those videos where people do reaction videos, but the only ones that I watch is Matthews because he does reaction videos well. You know, he's funny. He does, you know, he really lets you know, like, because some reaction videos they're like, wow, that guitar solo. I'm like, oh my God, like, dude, like, but so
Thank you.
subscribe to Diceable reviews. And finally, the Shield Good account, you know, there's been a lot of like new people subscribing. The last months have been great for the channel. Like people are subscribing, people are watching. I'm interviewing, like, I'm getting some high caliber interviews on the channel. I got Jake from 6 Feet Under. Hopefully he didn't see the Is It That Bad episode for when we talked about 6 Feet Under 2020 album. But you know what? If you haven't seen that interview, I asked him about that album, and he actually said that album, he said it, if you haven't watched that interview, that it was rushed. So he kind of admitted that it wasn't
Wow.
that great on the interview.
Oh,
So I didn't tell him that we're doing the new one. but yeah, I wasn't going to tell you in the interview. So please, if you haven't subscribed to me, and you know, like, tell us what other like albums that you would like to cover us in the future. I know there's some newer albums that we're doing too, like Alien Ant Farm is putting out a new album soon, and
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
so we'll probably
Smooth
talk about that
Criminal.
one.
Yeah.
And for those of you that watch my shorts, Nikki Six just said that they're Boldy Cruz putting out a new album, and it's a mixture of country music meets hip hop. And
Yeah,
someplace Bruce Dickinson is watching and saying, "You fucked my wife."
This is how you pay me back.
So on that note, we want to say goodbye from now from the couch, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Is It That Bad? Thank you and goodbye.